boom, boom. Boom, we're live. It's Chris Igoe Home Group, powered by Remax Direct. It is Thursday. It is February 13th. It's the day before Valentine's Day. So happy early Valentine's Day. I'm going to send you a big wet smacker. Mwah! I love you all. All right. So we are doing big things. We are getting stuff done. About to jump on here and hit the triple-headed monster of leads. Every day I share my journey, right? So I'm doing live calls every morning. I will hit the daily expireds, the daily canceleds, the daily for sale by owners. I will share my journey with you so that you can watch. My philosophy is I want to create the content that I wish existed when I first got into the real estate space to make people more effective and better on the phones. So with that in mind, wanted to discuss, so first and foremost, there's 22 leads to call for today. I don't have a ton of time, so I'm going to try to crank through these as quickly as possible before I've got to hit the road and work with some clients I'm showing some nice properties to mid-morning. But nonetheless, my momentum is built every day. What's up, Jessica? Glad you're watching. Welcome to the show. And more importantly, if you find this content to be valuable, then please share it with a friend. Like, subscribe, join us over on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, we love you. But yeah, if you would just continue to push, continue to level up. And this is my journey. So where was I with this? So every morning I'm uploading Vulcan 7 data. I'm putting that into the Mojo dialer. Vulcan 7, I think, has some of the best data around. All the data providers out there are, they're good, right? Some are a little bit marginally better than others. And I think it also depends on where you're at geographically. But in my market, Vulcan and pretty much all the data providers are fairly accurate. Vulcan gives you more data, which means you're getting more bad numbers. You're also having to weed through them. You'll find more good numbers. And so that's what I use, right? I import that into the Mojo dialer. And Mojo has a triple line dialer service that allows me to crank through a very big list very quickly. So that's what I'm going to do right now. But before I do that, I want to remind everybody, if you find this content to be valuable, please like, subscribe, tell a friend. And also, if you or anyone you know is even thinking about moving to South Florida ever, then we would love to help. We are constantly helping buyers from around the country and around the world buy homes here in South Florida. We absolutely love it. So if anybody you know is thinking about moving to South Florida, we service all of South Florida from Jupiter all the way down to Miami, everything in between. So all of Delray Beach, Boynton Beach, Boca Raton, Coral Springs, Parkland, all of Palm Beach County, all of Broward County, all of Dade County, all of St. Lucie County. We are available, would love to help, would love to pay you a FAT referral if that's applicable. And then also we'd love to help your clients find exactly what they want, get them the best, well, first of all, find their dream home, but also get them the best terms possible and make it fun and exciting along the way. So if we can help with that, we'd love to. All right. I want to talk about mindset. Yesterday, I spoke to an agent who discussed, or the question was, how many in my perfect dialing day, how many dials would I make, or what does my perfect dialing day look like? And so today that's very different. So I wanted to kind of just go backwards a little bit and talk about where I got, or how I got to the position that I'm in now in terms of comfortability on the phone. Because I remember, and maybe you can relate to this, when I first got on the phone, it was terrifying. The phone felt like this. Well, it wasn't a cell phone like this, but the phone felt like it weighed 1,000,000 pounds. And it was terrifying to pick up the phone. So a lot of people had what I used to describe, and way back in the day when I was younger, I used to torment them about having phone fear. So if you've got phone fear, just know that it's totally normal. Everybody's got it, and it's totally curable by just putting in the reps to get comfortable on the phone. So what I did when I first got, and again, my background is for 18 years, I was a stockbroker. I sold stock over the phone. It was a very challenging sale. And it was very, there were a lot more variables involved in talking to a stranger and asking them to invest money with you than it is asking somebody who is out there on the market. Their real estate listing has expired. Their house left the market unsold. These are people that I know, at least at some point, wanted to sell their home. So it's a much shorter pitch. It's a lot easier to control that conversation. Back in the day, there was, it was me cold calling an S&P registry of business owners and making 1,000 dials a day manually on a desk phone, which was just was very intensive. But nonetheless, when I first got on the phone, energetically, most people suffer through what I like to call phone fear, right? So they're just terrified to pick up the phone and dial it in the first place. You have to push through that, right? The next thing I realized is energetically, when I get on the phone, and if you record yourself, you're going to notice this fairly quickly. When you get on the phone and you record your conversation, you're going to realize how you actually sound versus how you think you sound. And what most people realize is they put on a canned effect. They put on a different voice, and it doesn't sound authentic. So usually what that means is they get on the phone, they say hello, and their voice goes up about 10 octaves. So if you get on the phone and say hello like that, chances are the person on the other end is going to know that you're not good at this. You're going to give away the fact that you're not confident, and they're going to hang up on you immediately. So the first thing I would do is start recording yourself so you realize how you actually sound versus the way you think you sound. And if you sound like shit, that's okay. Everybody sounds like shit at first. You've got to record yourself and you've got to practice the pitch. And I would write out the pitch. I would write out each word of the pitch, and I would start to practice. So for example, I've written these pitches. So the documents that I have here, I share with everybody. They're in the Facebook group, in the file section. It's not like what I have here is special. If you Google expired pitches or for sale by owner, scripts, not pitches, they call them scripts. If you look up scripts anywhere on the internet, you're going to find hundreds of them. They're available for free. They all work. But it's the way it's presented to the other side that makes you effective. So practice the way you sound. Break down each of those sentences into 2 or 3 word segments and perfect the way you sound in each one of those segments until you can actually fill out the entire sentence and then the entire paragraph and then the entire pitch and sound fantastic on every segment of the pitch. So I became relentless in my pursuit of that, right? So people talk about tonation. I talk about matching and mirroring how the other person sounds. These are all things that you can do, but it's through massive repetition. It's through massive repetition. So you need to get lots of reps in, period. So what is my initial indoctrination to becoming good on the phone look like? The question I got, what my ideal day look like? If I was brand new, I'd be trying to get 1,000 dials a day in, period. I would be recording myself on every single conversation that I had with anybody. And then I would, at the end of the day, I would break down every one of those conversations like it was game film, and I would analyze them. I would take, this is low tech stuff. I'd grab a legal pad, and anytime I didn't know what to say, I would write down whatever the thing was that stumped me, and then I'd figure out what I would say to that. So the objection and the objection handler, I'd isolate what those were, and I'd commit them to memory and practice them. So I never wanted to be in a situation where I didn't know what to say. Now, does it still happen? Sure, it still happens. There are times on here where, especially where I'm going live and I'm doing these calls live, where I'll get lost in my own thoughts in my head and just space out. It's okay. It's not the end of the world, right? So if you say something stupid on the phone, somebody hangs up on you, who cares? Just go on to the next one. You'll learn to develop a selective amnesia where something goes in one ear right out the other, and you'll perfect the pitch to a point where if I was new and I wanted to get really good on the phone, I would be aware of exactly how I sounded, but I'd also be aware of exactly what my energy felt like internally when I'm making these phone calls. And so when I get on the phone, does it feel like my heart rate is going through the roof? When somebody asks me a question, does my heart rate accelerate? Do I feel energetically off? Do I feel nervous? Do I feel scared? And again, all of those feelings are normal, but the way to work through them is simply through reps. So what I used to do to trial by fire, right, is I'd take those objections, I'd hand them in, I'd make up index cards, flashcards, if you will. I'd hand them to people in my life that would drill me on those. And at the time, again, I'm older now, but at the time I was young. I handed them to my mom. I handed them to my dad. I handed them to my sister. I handed them to my girlfriend at the time. Anybody who would participate in drilling me on what the objections were, I would hand it literally. I would hand them index cards and say, "Here, just ask me this randomly throughout the course of the day, endlessly," and they would. And I would practice these objections endlessly until I sounded, in my mind, what sounded perfect. So you could wake me up in the middle of the night and ask me an objection, or ask me to say the pitch at 3 a.m. By the way, please don't do this, because I do have some asshole who keeps calling me at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know where that's coming from, but I do know I publish my number everywhere. So nonetheless, but you could theoretically wake me up in the middle of the night, and I would sound the exact same way on every single objection, every single rebuttal, there's nothing you can throw at me that's going to rattle me. And if it does, I simply write it down, and then I work through whatever that objection is, period. And I love it when it happens, because it doesn't happen all the time. When it does happen, I want to isolate it. I want to own it. I want to make sure that it never happens again. So I absolutely want to create a scenario where I'm immune to every objection or every rebuttal or every scenario that there will be. And I'll give the case in point on this is, or not case in point, the best example of that is, I remember when I first got on the phone, and I'm in this big boiler room, and there's all kinds of people on the phone, and some of them are on speaker, some of them are on headphone, but I'm listening in on everybody. And somebody called up and they said, "Mr. Jones," and evidently the person had just died. And so the person that was on the phone just clammed up. They completely just internalized it. The person had died, and they didn't know what to say. But I remember energetically feeling this horrible feeling inside, like I had done something wrong by asking. No, it wasn't even me who made this phone call, but somebody died, and they couldn't deal with the fact that they had asked for somebody that had passed on. And this probably isn't a good example, but just give the example. My rebuttal to that was, "God bless him," and then I would ask the next question. And I got to a point when, now that's an extreme version of it, but I say that because now if somebody tells me that somebody had passed on, or whatever the case is, it doesn't change my energy at all. I'm the same internally. I have the same pursuit of the destination, which is to set the appointment. And if it doesn't go my way, that's fine. That's, you're not going to land every single person, but energetically, it's not going to rock my boat at all. So whether, my cat's on fire, you've just got to be able to survive the initial push of them trying to blow you off the phone. So I don't know if any of that made sense, but I just wanted to talk. The question that I got asked was, what does my perfect dialing day look like? The perfect dialing day for me is I make one phone call, I set one an appointment, I get one listening. I want to teach you how to be so effective that you're not on the phone making 1,000 dials. You're on the phone making 10 dials. You're setting 3 appointments, and you're going out and you're listing those 3 properties. That's what I want you to be as effective as possible in the shortest amount of time possible, period, end of story. So that is my hope in presenting this information to you, and I hope you guys benefit from it. So, all right, so there's 22 records to call. I'm going to do that now. Oh, wait, there is another. So I started, at least on YouTube, the objection I want to cover for today is call me back. And again, little story. A couple weeks ago, I was working with another agent, went to their office, and we were doing live dials together, and they called somebody, and the person said, "Hey, I'm really busy right now. I'm in a meeting. Can you call me back later?" And they were like, yeah, absolutely. What time? The guy said 4 o'clock. Okay, great. I'll call you back at 4 o'clock. And I listened to that. I'm like, oh my gosh, absolutely not. I'm like, give me their phone number. So I call the person back immediately, right after they had just gotten a phone call and by my friend. And so I get on the phone. They said, hey, can you call me back? I go, no, people who are on meetings don't answer their phone. And then I just went on to the next statement of the pitch and proceeded to get all of his contact information, all of their email address. Eventually, I did not set the appointment, but he listened to me talk for about 20 minutes. So you have to keep pushing. You've got to know when somebody says, call me back, or they say they're in a meeting. Well, first of all, people who are in meetings don't answer their phone. And the reality of it is you're not going to spend callbacks don't work. You're not going to spend any time thinking about this, any more time thinking about this than you are right now. So, and then the next question, it looks like you were on the market for the last, X amount of days. Did you have any offers while you were listed? All the person really wants to do is see if you're confident enough to push through that initial objection. And most of these calls where I do set appointments, you'll notice there's a little bit of resistance in the beginning, but it's not like there's a series of rebuttals. It's, can you survive the first 5 to 7 seconds on the phone conversation or not? If they're going to hang up, they're going to hang up anyway. So just learn to immune yourself to the fact that people are getting, especially the daily expires, they're getting beat up right out of the gate. They're getting phone calls from 7 o'clock in the morning on. Right now it's 8:59. So they've been getting called for at least an hour and a half. Can I survive that initial push of resistance? Yes or no? And now we're going to find out. So here we go. I was on quite a rant there, so I'm not sure if any of that made sense. Hopefully it did. If it did, then send me some thumbs up and let me know. And if it didn't, well, then send me some thumbs down and say, Chris, you suck. All right. So there's 22 records total. 7 are going to be filtered out. They're in price points I don't want to talk to. And away we go. So before we get on the phone, I do think it's important to share. So I'm about to get on the phone and I got a text message. Christopher, add 3 inches to Mr. Wuha and women won't leave you alone. Join 3684 and other men and make her obsessed. Enjoy Valentine's Day night. Okay, I'm going to delete that one. Mr. Hoo-Ha is just fine. I don't need any help for Valentine's Day. Thank you very much. I don't know how I made that list, but I would like to be removed immediately. Mr. Hoo-Ha. Okay.
In your touchtone phone, please enter your phone number. You are now logged into the Mojo Dollar. Please press the
For shits and giggles, I'm going to see if I can incorporate Mr. Hoo-Ha into my pitch today. Hoo-Ha. I'm writing it down, Mr. Hoo-Ha. 15 records. Hello, this is Mr. Oh, here's another thing. If you'll notice, I never start the conversation asking for the person. All that does is set up an objection. No, you got the wrong person. So you never hear me say, hello, Bob, hello, Beverly, hello, Nicole, hello, Mr. Smith, hello, any of that. I just go right into the pitch. Hey, this is Chris Igoe. And the reason for that is they're going to tell you, hello.
Hello, we are not available now. Please leave your name and phone number.
I'm just assuming it's the right person. If it's the wrong person, they're going to let me know fairly quickly. So why set up a dynamic where somebody... Hello.
Please leave your message for 7869.
Where somebody can create an objection by having the wrong person on the phone. Just assume you've got the right person on the phone. Hello, this is Chris Igoe with Remax. I record my calls for training purposes. I noticed your property listing had expired in the MLS. I was curious, how on earth did the property not sell? Okay, so they hung up. We're just going to call them right back because that's what we do. Hello, this is Chris Igoe with Remax. I record my calls for training purposes. Okay, well, so somebody hangs up on me. I immediately call them back. It's a little bit of a pattern disruptor in that they sometimes they're like, who the hell is this guy calling right back? But this is all confidence, right? So I want to display confidence to them. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All right, so on to the next one.
Forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
So I like to be one of the first people to connect with these home sellers in the morning. My mindset is I've got a fiduciary responsibility to connect with them. They've been on the market. Their agent failed them. They left the market unsold. They're probably not in the best mood. That's okay. We want to connect with them early. We want to connect with
the voicemail box of 954.
We want to connect with them often. On the daily expires, when you're calling this late in the day, they've already been pounded. That's okay. There's never a bad time to get on the phone, but you'll have more of a strategic advantage if you do it earlier. Sometimes I'm able to do that. Today I was not, since I was driving. As I pulled in this morning early from the gym, getting it in early, my daughters were like, Daddy, would you please take me to school?
Funders International Incorporated.
And of course, I'm a big softie, so I said, of course I will. But we're cranking through the list. We're doing big things. We're getting stuff done. What's up, Kevin? What's up, Ryan? What's up, Rocky? What's up? I'm sure I'm going to butcher your name. Line? Is that how you do it? How do you say it? What's up, Tommy Kim in the house? Dude, you're putting out great content. I liked your video that you put up yesterday. It was good stuff. What's up, Dan?
The voicemail box of 5615.
If you gentlemen would be good enough to please click the link, like, subscribe, and join me on YouTube, I would be eternally grateful. And as always, if you or anyone you know is even thinking, hello, hi.
Sorry, I can't take your call at this moment. Please leave a message.
She trickstered me with that hi.
The voicemail box of 56.
But yeah, if anybody's even thinking of moving to South Florida, we absolutely would love to help. We service all of South Florida from Jupiter down to Miami, so Broward, Dade, Palm Beach counties, St. Lucie counties. We will pay you a FAT referral. We will get your client exactly what they want and get them the best terms possible.
Automatic voice message.
And we'll love it.
5650.
All right, so again, we're just cranking through the list. We're making donuts, 15 records. Those records probably have 3 or 4 numbers each. So we're just cranking through the call hammer, calling all of these numbers and smiling and dialing. So again, mindset, fiduciary responsibility to connect with these home sellers. They've been on the market, their agent failed them. We are professional. We are real estate professionals. We're not punching bags, so we're going to have a very firm mindset. We are offering them something of value, which is a solution. Hello, this is Chris. Hey, it's Chris Igoe with Remax. I record my calls for training purposes. My records indicate that your property is for sale by owner. Is that true?
I'd have to double check. It is still listed with an agent until a few more days.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's coming up as a for sale by owner. So, okay, cool. Who are you listed with?
It's listed with Location Realty.
Oh, okay. I never heard of them. And you're saying that expires here shortly?
Yeah, 2 days.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you a question. Are you getting any activity on the property?
Just through Facebook, but nothing, nothing like that.
Any offers?
Not as yet, not as yet. But I can, I can give you my email if you want to send me something by email.
Yeah, so
I can take a look at it.
I would love to do that. Just so you know, I'm with Remax Direct. We've got 6 offices down here in South Florida. We've sold 15,000 homes since 2008. We're averaging 1 a day. My claim to fame is I'm top 11 in the state of Florida. I get 98.2% of lists. I do that in an average of 45 days. Let me ask you this, and I would like to run an analysis as it relates to price and email it to you. But let me ask you, if you knew absolutely for certain that by doing business with us, 2 things would happen. 1, your home would sell. 2, you'd end up with significantly more money, bottom line, than you could get any other way. Now, I know that's a big promise, but would you at least want to hear more about it? Be honest.
Yeah, I would want to hear more about it.
Okay, cool. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to email you a property analysis. What is your best email address? Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, hello? Can you hear me? All right, let's call her right back. So that was an odd place to hang up. Hello.
Please leave your message for.
Hello, this is Chris Igoe. We got disconnected. If you would, please give a call back. My direct number is 561-516-2442. Again, 561-516-2442. We do business completely differently than anybody else out there, and it virtually guarantees you 2 things. 1, your home will sell. 2, you'll end up with significantly more money, bottom line, than you can get any other way. I would love to lay eyes on the property and see if it's something we believe we can get you multiple offers on and sell fast. So please do call me back. I'll look forward to speaking to you soon. All right. So where I did make a mistake there was when she offered to give me her email, I should have gotten her email immediately. But nonetheless, we keep pushing. All right, so we are 11 records in, 4 more to go. Cranking through the list. We are down to the last 2 records. And I will absolutely call that other lady back.
Your calling session.
All right, so
All records have been called based on your call.
So that is the first pass expired. We got a big fat goose egg, and that's okay because we are committed to the process, detached from the outcome. If you continue to win the day, and whatever that means for you, right? So everybody has their own business. Everybody has their own objectives, goals, whatever it is. But if you get granular and figure out what the things you need to do are to win the day every day and check those boxes every day, you're going to create tremendous momentum within your business. This is going to grow. So you should be doing some sort of lead gen, which is adding people to the top of your sales funnel every single day. And if you're doing that every single day and you're constantly adding fuel to the fire, you will have a roaring fire of success at some point if you continue to commit to those daily actions. So, all right, let's see here. There were 22 records total. It was 37 dials, 4 contacts, which is 11%. Again, I define a contact as somebody who answers the phone, says hello, but 0 leads and 0 appointments. And that's it for today's session. So hopefully my rant in the beginning was helpful and instructive. And if not, if there are things that you have questions about, then you know where to find me. But again, if you would please like, subscribe, hit the bell, join me on YouTube, and thank you for watching on Facebook. And if anybody's ever even thinking about moving to South Florida, we would love to help. We'll pay you a FAT referral. Go out there, win the day, win the week, win the year, win your life, get some. And if there's anything I can do to help, you know where to find me. Dan, you too. Make it a great day. Get some. Sold by Philip. Get some.